Okay. This information has to get out because they're saying, well, what do we do?
Yeah.
All our freedom's being taken away. What do we do? And I said, look, I got a plan. Okay, welcome back. And this is kind of fun because this is a 12-part series. Welcome back to episode 4. This is when America takes its country back. If you're tired of losing your rights, okay, we've got a powerhouse team. Dennis Nil, okay, previous sheriff of Ohio, served for 6 years, ran for president in 2012, serves as justice of the state, Sheriff Yavapai County. Am I getting that close?
Yavapai.
Good. Yeah.
Yavapai.
Almost there.
Arizona chairman, recorder and coordinator of the Arizona Assembly, leading the way to reclaim sovereignty. And Diana Kaiser, pro soccer player, functional diagnostic nutritionist, co-founder of the Truth Tribe, holistic beauty expert, author of Killer Breast, a step-by-step book for overcoming breast implant illness, which is super important. That's, removing the toxic breasts thank God. Okay, she's a member of the American States National Assembly of Arizona and is leading the way for others to seek out their personal power for speaking their inner truth. God bless you both. Okay, and this is episode 4 in a 12-part series. Now, what we're going to be doing, we're going to have a synopsis that will get by the censors on YouTube, we hope. Okay, we're also going to put it on BitChute and Library.
Awesome.
For a detailed analysis, it'll be on the Dr. B VIP site, and that's the one where you can get in. But all the information on this is going to be at the bottom of this video on the site. Make the effort, because someone will be in charge of your life. Okay, either you or the government. I would prefer you because you're the ones that are living it. Okay. Whew. Okay, welcome back. I missed you guys.
Oh, we missed you too.
Okay, I got a couple of sample questions, but one of the things, the first question was, what's the real history of the U.S. and how do we get here? I think we kind of covered that a little bit. The Pope's involvement, though, because this is one of the challenging factors. When last night, I spoke at a little tiny office. There must have been 60, 70 people. I mean, assholes to elbows. Were, tight, packed like crazy. Out of all those people, there were 2 people wearing a mask. And at the end of the presentation, they both left because they weren't going to take off their mask. It had some ego thing.
Yeah.
But people are saying, well, what do I do now? Okay, I know that the COVID, that there wasn't an increase in deaths. I know that the restrictions are not based in science. And I'm tired to have my business shut down because of government overreach. And I'm showing them that the government has no right to take away your Bill of Rights.
True.
Okay, so really, what can people do now to get involved? Now, and you guys are the experts in this. Okay, I'm just learning. So when 60, 70 people come up and say, how do we get our rights back? I say, look, go to the AmericanStatesAssembly.net. Okay, Sovereign Nationals, I think it's .org.
Sovereign.
.us.
So yeah, this one's important, you guys, because a lot of you are reaching out to us with questions and we can't help everybody one-on-one. So sovereignnationals.us. And we'll put the link below for you as well. Yeah, .us.
Bitchin'. Okay, so Diana, what do you think, like what's the most common questions? Like how can people get started in this?
Yeah. And this is the one, I'm talking about this all day throughout the day. And I'm real about it too, in terms of you can't just go sovereign and then it's done and then no one will bother you. You have to embody the common law. And so understand that if you're going to get yourself sovereign, that this becomes kind of like going to school. Imagine that you're going to school and you have courses and you're buying materials and you're making this a new thing. It's a new language. So realize that it's more than just getting, an ID and saying I'm sovereign. That's it. Realize that there are stipulations and there's a certain level of responsibility and accountability that this comes with. And then also tribe. I could not have done this without Dennis. Dennis is badass. We are so blessed to have dentists in Arizona, and he's fully committed to this and has a full-time job. And so do I, because we don't make money doing this stuff. We feel better about our purpose in the world. So yes, you can go onto the website I just gave you guys, which is Sovereign National, no S at the end, national.us. That's where you'll find all the information on how to tune in with us on Thursday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Technically it's Mountain, but right now we're on Pacific time tonight, 6 p.m. And then Monday night with Anna at 6 p.m. And you'll see all those links. That's the best way to get involved without being like, hey, because someone helped me one-on-one. And you could reach out to your coordinator just to get a relationship established. And then you'll have conversations. You could ask them questions. It's $25. You can get this done soon. You can change your plates in your car. And it's also important to know that you are going to become the leader in your area that educates the cops, that educates others, educates teachers. It's not about expecting them to know your language. We're helping cops understand this too. And cops are slowly shifting over to want to become sovereign themselves.
Yep. And you just scared most of them away by telling people that they're going to become leaders.
Great.
That scares the living daylights out of people. People get involved with the assembly, okay, because we are the only lawful government. So we are basically the founding fathers again, but just trying to get it back to the way it was supposed to be, not the way it is now that's been stolen from us and everybody else, our parents and grandparents and whatever, because this has been going on for 160 years. So we are now the lawful government. We have to act like the lawful government. And we start on the county level up on through and get the state going. And then all the counties and everybody gets involved. Help whatever you can. Do studying. Go to meet and greets. Talk to people. Give them brochures. Send them to websites. Answer questions if you can. Get involved. That's what we need. More people involved. We have over, I don't even know, close to 500 people in Arizona. All right. But most of them are, they corrected their status and they're sitting back saying, you do it. You guys have been doing great so far, but we need the help. I can't be the sheriff and the justice all in the same court. Okay. It doesn't work that way. So we need people to step up and take positions, and pretty soon those positions will be paid. So I'm sure we'll have a lot more people coming in, qualified people, because those positions are going to be paid. Go ahead, Doc.
And I meant self-leaders too, not just leaders for your community, but self-leader.
and that is taking charge of yourself, because that's, the Gandhi thing. How do you change the world? You start by changing yourself.
Yep.
And to tell these people, I say, look, we're going to take back our rights, and then that's overwhelming. They can't hear it. But if we're going to start on the county level, because that's what controls the states. And I think this is a way that people can start to accept that, and you can choose your involvement. I mean, you got to have some type of involvement. It could just be changing your status, but then you got a responsibility to vote or contribute. If you can contribute to, and there's a list of jobs on there. I mean, there's jobs for education, for investigatories. There's everything, every attorneys. There's so many different jobs that you can do, that you can contribute, and it's literally taking back our country. That's huge. Now, there's a step-by-step process on there, and a lot of it, like Diane, what you're talking about, is it's a different language. So that when you sign things, you have to sign it in a certain way, using the blue ink, using, capital at the first name, and then you have to put certain scripting on the bottom. Now, all of that, I was looking a little bit on the website, and it makes sense. I mean, you have to have like some copies of your birth certificate if you get stopped. What process would you recommend for people to get our rights back? Okay, so number one, they got to go to sovereignnational.us and follow the procedures there.
Yep.
And that requires a couple of passport photos, a notary public or public notary.
Yeah. Okay. And this is where you're going to want to get in touch with your local state or wherever you live representatives, because there's a dentist in every state and they can help you go through the entire process.
Okay. Yeah. In Orange County, there's no setup. There is one in Riverside. So,
Thanks.
so if you're listening to this, there may not be in one in your county, but for sure going to be one in your state. And you can literally start to set it up right away, because this is, I mean, if you're curious about how we were energy independent last year, and now we're going to have gas shortages this year. We were exporting food 2 years ago. Now we're going to have food shortages now. Lumber, we were exporting it. Now we have 600% increase in lumber.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the end result of this pseudo government out of hand, just printing money like crazy. So this is not something you can sit back. You got to make the effort now. And if you're going to make that effort, okay, if you put in a little bit more, just contributory, okay, where you tell others, because this is the only way that we can get the country back. Now can't, because I know that some of the treaties like 1871, the Paris Treaty, I know the 1779, you know, when they diagnosed U.S. citizen versus American, those are different processes. We covered a bit in the first couple of videos. Right now, what do you see in like a vision? Like let's say we have 10 people that form an Orange County unit. Okay. And we all decided to get together. And by the way, we just had our first constitutional meeting this past Monday. We're going to do, I think, one Monday at a month, maybe 2 Mondays a month. I'm going to try and work into weekly meetings, perhaps every Wednesday, so we can start getting people together so that we can have small areas like this this is your plan. This is what you got to do.
And in person is great too, because who knows how long we'll all have access to the internet.
Correct.
Oh yeah. Because that's why I'm doing more talks on the outside.
Yeah.
Because a lot of this content isn't going to work.
Yeah.
Right.
So what's the first step? Like you call your state assembly, you join it, and you follow the process on the state national assemblies.
Right.
That are the assembly, sovereignnational.us.
Right. Or the AmericanStatesAssembly.net.
Okay. And so you start filling out that paperwork, call and start to group. What would you recommend? Somebody that like a contractor, or they might own a bar, or they might own, you know, a shop. How can they contribute when their life is super, super full? And this might seem overwhelming. It's almost worth it to be a servant to the government and accept their handouts and not worry about the future restriction on travel or vaccines or a reduction in your ability to own property or drive private transportation, which is all the plans in the future.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they're saying right now I can turn the faucet on and water comes out, so I'm okay.
Yeah, check later this afternoon.
Yeah.
That's how fast it can disappear. And people that, you know, sit and wait, you know, contact the people in the assembly. You may have somebody in your own county and they can help you. And they usually have county meetings also, where everyone can get together, get to know each other, learn what everybody's different abilities are. I mean, everybody has something special to give. All right, do that with the assembly, whether you're a scribe, which means taking notes at the meetings, or you're the treasurer, or, you know, you become the coordinator, or whatever position it is. Help that group grow. If you wait, okay, you're going to be paying taxes way out the wazoo, because as American nationals, you don't have to unless you're a federal employee, because taxes are voluntary. All right, everybody's, especially contractors, they're being raped with the taxes and so on like that. I know a couple of people say, well, I'm afraid that they're gonna, you know, deport my husband if I don't pay him the $80,000 that I owe him. I says, why don't you just send them a letter, become an American national? Your husband's not going anywhere, and they can kiss that 80,000 goodbye, because I'm keeping it. Okay, because that's what you do, because everything is illegal through them. Everything.
So minimal effort. Okay.
Correct.
Go to a meeting. Okay. If you've got more time that you can, and it's more of a priority, form a meeting. Okay, at minimal, you've got to do some research and get the paperwork. But if you go to the meetings, we're going to have all the paperwork that you got to start filling out. There'll be people there to answer questions. We've got multiple Q&As on all the different forums that you guys got. Okay,
Right.
so this way the questions are probably going to be answered. But there are going to be meetings. There's going to be meetings at our office at least once a month. Okay, so
Very good. Yeah.
your contribution, you don't need to be a scribe, you don't need to be an attorney, you don't need to be anything, but by God, you got to be an advocate to tell your neighbors that they are under the boot of a fascist regime that
Yeah.
has no authority over you. You
Mhm.
know,
Correct.
it's like the homeless guy in the parking lot saying, "Put the aluminum over your head," although that's probably pretty accurate.
Right.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know,
Right.
he might not be crazy,
Yep.
He'd be
but
protecting himself right now.
yeah,
Yeah.
the government doesn't have the authority.
Right.
No.
And you know
So
what?
what?
Here's the thing too, you guys, is that when I was living in Orange County a few years ago, I was like, where are my people? Where are my people who think like me and who really have the courage to stand up for themselves and speak up and not just roll over and take the agenda that's happening now. When you go to these meetings, you find your people. It is an easy, great, guaranteed way to find your tribe. And you're not only going to learn this process, but you're going to also learn about how to be self-sufficient in the world. You're going to gain a lot of resources. You're going to feel alive again with purpose because you feel like you found, it's like, I wouldn't say it's a new religion, but it's a new tribe. It's a new tribe where you can trust more people who are like you, and you learn together. So you don't have to do it all by yourself. And you could bring your family members who are questioning this, who are a little bit skeptical about it, and you can bring them there and they can see what it feels like to be there and what comes up so that you don't have to be the expert.
I like that, because what do groups of tribes form? A nation. So taking over the entire county is hard, but if we have multiple tribes, then we have more of a voice, and then we take over our county. And I've
Yeah.
heard, this is like through the grapevine, that there's sheriffs going around to educate sheriffs on their power and how they have constitutional power. Dennis, you blew me away when you said that a
Mhm.
sheriff can kick out the CIA, the FBI, anybody, that the sheriff has the ultimate power. And
Yeah.
that answered a shitload of questions I had, because
Right.
I'm wondering, why are these sheriffs standing up saying, I'm not going to ask people for their papers, or just show me your mask? Okay, this
Right.
isn't, you didn't see police commissioners do that. You didn't see
Nope.
police chiefs do that. It was always the sheriff.
Right. Because the sheriff is the chief law enforcement officer of that county. No one, no FBI, no DEA, no anybody can enter the county without the sheriff knowing about it. They have to inform the sheriff first. But because the system, the way it is, they're all de facto, they come in and just do what the heck they want whenever they want, because they're all corporations, and most county sheriffs are incorporated. And the reason they are is because the federal government says, oh, we'll give you money for this and that and this and whatever if you become incorporated. So they incorporated so they can buy more equipment and hire more people and, things like that. So, but there are a few counties still out there that are unincorporated, and they stand up for the people. And that's their whole job, is to protect the people of the county. And that's what all the sheriffs are supposed to be doing. So some will, some won't, some will, work both sides of the fence to try and appease everybody.
Now, when and again, I've got, if you saw my office, I've got OSHA regulations, I've got the state regulations, which are illegal, but I put them on my front
Right.
window, and I've got everything up there to show that we are in compliance. But if somebody decides to shut me down, and I'm talking police, health department, somebody decides to shut me down, what can I do immediately to say, one thing, you don't have a warrant? Or what recourse does the average business owner do when they try and shut him down for going against the emergency restrictions?
Okay. Not even the president of the United States. I mean, a real president. All right. Not even the president of the United States in an emergency situation can take away any of your rights. period. So the mask BS is just BS. There is no government. It is liquidated. It's all the facade of what is going on right now. Joe Biden is I don't even think it's him. I think it's somebody in a mask. All right. Because everything that they're doing is totally illegal. Everything. So a business owner, if he is not an American national, all right, has to comply with whatever they say because you're still a corporation. And if you go against their corporation, you're committing treason.
So
But when
now,
you're an American national and you say, totally out of your jurisdiction, just like cops in the United States, they can't cross the Mexican border. Why? Because it's out of their jurisdiction. All right, because it's a sovereign country.
You mentioned that January 5th, the U.S. went bankrupt. When you file bankruptcy, I think it was January 5th, you when a human files bankruptcy, okay, and I did this way back in the 90s, okay,
right,
and where my debts were way beyond what I could possibly do. And right. I just had my legs broken, my sternum fractured. So I was not in a position to maintain the integrity of my responsibilities.
Right. Yeah.
And so my debtors, my creditors were like wiped out. Now, who does the United States owe money that they had to file bankruptcy to? Did they have debts wiped out? Like when the United States files bankruptcy and dissolves, do they have the same thing like a personal where people that owed the money now no longer get that and it's a write-off, or what happened?
Okay, well, what happened was they filed, like, I think it was back in 2015 for Chapter 11. And they went through and they're trying to figure out, because see, the 160 some odd trillion dollars in debt that they owe, do you know who they owe that to?
Who?
Us, we the people. That's who their creditors are. We are the creditors. And they keep spending like drunken sailors, no offense to the sailors, but you know how they are on Liberty.
Yeah.
Enough said. So, I mean, as well, we're going to give you this amount of money and we're going to pay for this and we're going to do this and we're going to go to the moon and we're going to go to Mars and blah, blah, blah. And they're just spending recklessly, okay, because everybody that's paying taxes, every time you buy something, it's taxed. All that money goes into a fund and goes to the Pope, because the Pope owns everything. However, the Pope is a subcontractor of ours, we the people. Okay, he works for us, but he's not doing his job. So when they filed bankruptcy, the United States Inc. was liquidated on November 5th. No more assets, no more nothing. It no longer existed. So the United States of America Incorporated, which is the territorial government, right, they stepped in and started giving them money. Otherwise, there'd be no police departments, no hospitals, no schools, no nothing. So they kept it up like nothing ever happened, and they never said a word to anybody.
So there were two corporations. One got dissolved.
Well, one is dissolved, the other one's in Chapter 11, going into Chapter 7. So by the end of this year, the United States of America Incorporated could be liquidated also. That's why we need to build our government, or there's going to be chaos everywhere. We are the lawful people, and lawful people live peaceably. And we, do business just like we're normally doing now. But if you are like a contractor or so on, and you owe all that kind of money, and you're not an American national, you better pay your taxes, because they'll shut you down. They take everything that you got, especially if you're an LLC or a corporation incorporated. They can come in and take whatever they want because they own you.
Now, so when you're looking at first, when you're talking about the Pope and this, when you say something like that, I'm doing research. And
absolutely, I want you to. That's why I bring it up.
It's mind-blowing that all the stuff you say is true. And I just want to say this, because when people are saying that, well, there's a difference between the city of London and London, and but the King of London really did abdicate his authority to the Pope. I mean, there's a relationship there. And there's a relationship with the Pope in America and England, that it was a negotiated peace and we didn't beat them into submission. Okay, there's a lot of stuff I didn't know. And so all this stuff that you're saying is backed up.
Right. Yeah. And they don't tell you anything because they want to keep us in the dark, and they want to keep us and working so we don't talk to each other, so we don't congregate, and we don't get us the assemblies up and going. Just to let you know, are you ready for this? Do you know what happened on October 1st of 2020?
What?
All of the states became the United States. The Western states were still territories. They were never acknowledged into the Union of States.
Really? It wasn't 1846 for California?
Nope. It was never ratified. So the American States Assembly got all of the state coordinators together, and they invited the Western states to become part of the Union of the States. So as of October 1st, 2020, that happened.
So that's our organization, your organization.
Right. The American States Assembly.
Hot damn. Okay, so that means that we are literally, I mean, there's groups in every state. Okay, they're organized in every state, but there's a time limit. It's not something you could hang back. And I mean,
right.
if people aren't aware that we're in a crisis circumstance, what was your life like in 2019 versus now, a year and a half after shutdowns to flatten the curve? I mean, if you're not realizing that we're in a fascist or, socialist regime,
yeah, we are.
You shouldn't be looking into this. Okay, just watch CNN and live a happy, short life. Okay,
that's for sure.
Can you go to the court system that we currently have and say, look, I'm a state citizen, he's a national citizen, I'm protected by the Bill of Rights? Okay, do our court systems recognize this yet? Or
some are and some aren't. The whole thing is you don't go to their court system, okay, because their court system is corrupt. You go to our court system. Now, the courts are coming up in the states here and there and everywhere. Here in Arizona, we have our courts up, but we're working on getting the enforcement. We need sheriffs. We need deputies. We do have continental marshals who are on the land and soil that work for the American States Assemblies. And their group is building. They can go anywhere in the country. All right. So they're there. Yeah, they're there to back us up, but they're just building. All this is like 2-3 years old. Okay, as far as the assemblies are going, because the Federation says, okay, folks, we need to build the assemblies or we're going to lose our country.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're losing it fast. Okay. Are you ready for another one?
Yeah.
Another bombshell? Do you know what we did? What's today, Wednesday? Do you know what Anna did on Monday?
What?
Ended the Civil War.
What was still going on?
It was still going on, and that's why we're in the mess we are today, because the British territorial government came in, took over all the businesses, took usurp as pretending they were us, and started making the laws and regulations against us. So even though we won the war, okay, became America, all right, they've been bilking off of us since then. So we finally, because the Civil War was never ended. There was never a peace treaty.
You mean the American Revolution, not the war between the states?
Yeah, the war between the states, as they call it. Okay.
No kidding.
Well, oh yeah, the Civil War, the North and the South. It was a mercenary contract war. That's all it was.
How were
between
the British
corporations?
How were the British involved in that one?
The Pope was betting on both sides, and the Queen, okay, was going for the South. He was actually giving them money. All right, because of the two differences in corporations. Now, what the North wanted to do is to get rid of slavery. The South says, no, the South wanted to get rid of slavery and the North didn't, but they made everybody slaves when the Civil War was over with all of their different amendments. So she finally signed the peace treaty to end the Civil War on Monday.
Wow. Okay. and for those of you listening, thinking this doesn't make sense, it really does when you look into it. And
when you check out the history,
you check out the history. The history is enlightening like you can't believe. And I mean, I'm doing some research on propaganda by, Edward Bernays from the 1920s. Then they changed propaganda to public relations. So it's, and I mean, literally you see that it has a negative term, but we need to still do this to control the public. And that's why last night I want to help these people, because you got to get your freedom back. And that's why, like, thank God this was today. Thank God. So right. I'm going nuts last night because I can tell them certain things they can do to strengthen their immune system. But how do you protect that pregnant woman? There is no data.
Right.
Yeah.
There's nothing. You can strengthen the immune system, but this is a unique procedure that has never been tried on humans at a large scale.
So we're seeing it right now. It's like everything is slowly moving, but first it's who's going to get it. The next ones, we're going to incentivize you to the people who have not gotten it. Then it's going to be forced. So
penalized.
You don't want to, when you get to the forced position, you want to, at that point, be able to say, you are not the boss of me and you have no right over my body. God owns me. And that is it.
God bless you. Okay. I'm telling you right now, that is exactly what we're going to. We've got to. It's in order to save your own life, you have to put forth an effort.
Mm-hmm.
And getting your rights back. Okay, the freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of religion, freedom of your own body. So nobody has rights over that. So parents can decide on the rights of their children. And the reason is because if you don't, you're going to be a burden on society.
A terrorist.
Yeah.
A terrorist.
So in other words, they're killing you off with all this different stuff, because if you don't take it, you're a burden to society.
You're a burden to society.
They're going to make you take it so that you're out of here in 2 months.
Yeah, I mean, I just
whether you
wish
like it or not.
If they did the whole golden star thing, to differentiate the people that were going along with the program or not. I know that was done before, but honest to God, the one of the greatest books is The Third Reich in Power, and that's exactly what our world is going through. I mean, if you think our government now is actually an American government,
it's not.
It's not. I mean,
we should start a new docuseries called Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. Oh my God, I like that.
Starring insert names here. You guys know the stars. Gold stars.
Okay. I gotta get going and starting to work on people, but this is that. I mean, thank you. I hope everybody got something out of it, when you watch this. But by God, I was inundated with these questions and challenges and problems, and the only way I can say is to contact you guys.
Yeah,
because we got to get our freedom back. Don't let being involved scare you, because believe me, I know when your plate gets too full. Okay. And I know if you're burning the candle at both ends, there's also, you can break that sucker in half and you get 4 ends. Okay.
And then you're really in trouble.
You really burn out quick. Okay. I'm at that stage. Okay. But you have to do it. I mean, your grandchildren, your children, your friends and neighbors, your family. I got family members that have drunk the Kool-Aid and they're going to die.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're already the Walking Dead, right? If they've already made those choices.
Darling, they're the Walking Dead. Do you have any final, Diane? Do you have any final words to tell people? It's really a call to action, but also to say, it's not overwhelming effort, but it is some effort.
Yes. Here's what I want all of you to do right now. I want you to take out a journal of some kind, a feather pen, something, anything where you're writing these things down. Think about the areas of your life where you have the most fear around what you might lose. And these are irrational fears that were implanted inside of you, all of us, that, oh my gosh, what am I'm going to lose this. I'm going to end up in jail. Like, take all your fears, write them down. Take the things that you have questions around. Maybe if I have children, can I still go to public school? Can I still go to work? Can I still collect a pension? Can I still, whatever those questions are, write them all down for yourself, because unless you address those fears, then you're not going to get anywhere closer to going sovereign. These are the main things that keep people stuck and suffering and away from sovereignty, is that you keep these fears real inside of your head. So take all of them, realize that no question is a burden. No question is stupid. The only stupid questions are the ones that don't get asked because they keep you in prison. So come to these things like with Dennis and myself tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific time, or on Monday with Anna, 6 p.m. Pacific time. And you ask these questions one-on-one. If you don't get these things customized, then they're never going to get actualized.
God, that's brilliant. I got goosebumps. Okay. Oh, air hug. Okay, Dennis, do you have any final words? Good God, you're amazing.
Yeah. Just everybody needs to start getting involved. Becoming an American national or state citizen or state national, same thing. You lose absolutely nothing and you have everything to gain. Because people are afraid they're going to lose everything. They don't. Okay. If people are on Social Security, they still get that. If they are on disability, they still get that. You still have everything because you own it. All right. You are a living being on the land and soil. The others, the corporations, are dead entities. They have no control over you. They cannot control anything, even though they're trying very hard to do that now, because, United States of America, Inc. and United States, Inc., they think they're your government, and they're not. You are your government. And we have to get together and plan this all out, just like the forefathers started, 1776. Get it together. I mean, if the British found out where they were, they'd have been shot and killed. All right. That's not happening right now. All right. So we're growing. From what I heard, it's 40 million strong worldwide and growing.
Wow. Okay.
So you're not in this alone. Get together with your neighbors, get together with your coordinators, county, state, assembly, everything, and get things rolling, because we need the enforcement in order to take back our freedoms, because they're slipping away every day.
And look at our website. We have meetings here on Monday nights, and I'm not sure because I'm not setting it up. It could be one Monday a month. It could be every other Monday. It could be every Monday. I'm really out of the loop on scheduling that, but make an effort, and God bless you both. We're going to keep getting deeper into this, and we're going to have step-by-step look at the drbvip.com site and follow it. Just get involved to save your family and to save yourself.
Yes,
exactly.
God bless you both. That was
you too.
Absolutely amazing.
Back at you, Dr. B. And remember, use the words corporations. Shift all the language. There's signs everywhere. There's signs everywhere. You start to see things when you start becoming more free and reclaiming your freedoms. It all starts to make more sense.
You mean like mortgage, which means you pay till you die?
Yeah.
And
gross. I know.
And then you still don't own the house.
And then you still don't own the house. Absolutely.
Yes. There's all kinds of things we could talk about that too, with owning your own land and titles and the appropriate way to do it, because there's little loopholes. But once you get into the space of sovereignty and take it back, then you start to learn all of this, and you become your own lawyer.
God bless you both. Until the next bat time at the same bat channel.
Exactly.
I love you guys. I'll see you later.
Too,
and tune in to them 6 o'clock.
Yes. See you tonight. See you tonight.
Thanks, Dr. B.
If you can hear my voice, you are part of the resistance.